Hi and welcome to my kitchen. Hello. And my friend Cyrilla's granddaughter came here, so I got a gift. Keep them coming. So stomasach nachas. Okay. The first mitzvah in the Torah when we came to Mitzrayim, it's interesting. He's a chedesh hazeh lochem reish chodoshim. In fact, if you want to go back in my classes at the beginning, I think I did it a long time ago, but in the first Rashi in Bereshis, Omar Rabbi Yitzchak says, you had to start, the Torah should have started not with Bereshis bara Elokim, but with the first mitzvah. And the first mitzvah appears in Shmeis, and the mitzvah is HaChedesh Hazeh Lochem Reish Chodoshim. This is Reish Chodesh, and it's up to the Sanhedrin to make the decision. Now I'm going to tell you something that I find very interesting. In communist Russia, you could print a Chumash, you could print a Siddur, you can print a Machzor, you can even print a Tanya, a Tanakh. There was one thing you can't print. I wonder if I could see hands, because I do it in camp and in school all the time. Nobody ever gets it. This is something, this article that I'm going to say, if you don't have it, it's very hard to be a frum Jew. And it's something to do with what I said before, so I'm sure you figured it out. It's called a luach. Without a luach, you can't be a frum Jew, because you don't know when anything is. My father, Avi Meir, Shneir Zalman Butman, said that when he was fashikt, first when he was in jail, he saw a friend of his, Rabbi Goldin, was also there at the same time, but they didn't let them out at the same, to walk in the courtyard. And so he made some sort of a sign to show that it's Erev Yom Kippur. Because they didn't know. Some prisoners scratched into the wall to know what day it is. A luach is one of the most important things for a Jew ever. They say that in Russia, under communism, if a frum Jew came, people would walk over to them on the street and say, not kagda. Kagda is, well, I don't know the word. When is, maybe kagda. No, I don't think so. Kagda Simchas Torah. When is Simchas Torah? It was so important to them to know, when is Simchas Torah? So now let's go to this concept. HaChedesh Hazeh Lochem Reish Chodoshim. It was up to Sanhedrin to make the decision, because the Rebbe didn't tell you this day, this day, this day. What they would do, I'm sure you know, is they would bring in two Eidim. The Eidim said exactly what they saw, the sliver, the first sliver. They would be brought to two rooms. They would be questioned separately. And once they had decided that this was Reish Chodesh, in the time of Bayis Rishon, they would build a fire on top of a mountain. The next mountain saw the fire, and the next one, and the next one. I think it was 7 mountains till Bavel. And that's how they knew. And everybody would know that's Reish Chodesh. Now, in Bayis Sheni, we had a terrible problem. They were called Shemreinim. They were really goyim. It's not on the scope of this lesson to explain who they are. And they started to light fires around the time, they saw the moon around the time of Reish Chodesh. So it couldn't be done anymore by fires. And so in Bayis Sheni, they would send out runners from mountain to mountain, to mountain to mountain. This runner came, this runner left, relay runners to tell everybody what Reish Chodesh is. So there is a story in the Gemara about Rabbi Yeshua ben Hananya, who was one of the people that carried out Rabban Yechanan ben Zakkai from Yerushalayim, him and Rav Eliezer ben Horkinos. And Rabbi Yeshua ben Hananya knew the stars and knew the constellations in heaven. And he disagreed with Sanhedrin when Reish Chodesh What's the worst month? There were two, because Chayav Koris, Yom Kippur, which is Tishrei, and Nisan, Pesach. It was Tishrei. And he disagreed with Sanhedrin. Rabban Gamliel de Yavne, who was the Rosh Sanhedrin, got wind that Rabbi Yeshua Machananya disagrees. He's not going to say anything to Sanhedrin because Acharei Rabim Lahates, you have to do what the Sanhedrin says because it says Hachedesh Hazeh Lochem Reish Chadoshim. You make the decision. Sanhedrin makes the decision. Whenever they say, that's when it is. Rabbi Yeshua Machananya really planned to fast both days. I mean, how much can you be off? You can be off one day. So he figured he would fast his day, and he would fast the day that Sanhedrin said. Rabban Gamliel de Yavne didn't like that idea, because the minute somebody does something else, there's going to be a crack. There'll be a par. People will find out. And Sanhedrin won't be trusted as much, because Rabbi Yeshua Machananya disagreed, even if he didn't tell anybody. And even if he was going to do this secretly. So what were they to do? I'll tell you what they did. They called him Rabbi Yeshua Machananya. I think he was 110 years old by then. And they said to him, on the day that you think is Yom Kippur, you're going to have to come into Sanhedrin carrying your staff with the bag on your back and your peanut butter sandwich or whatever. And you will have to eat this. Ifnei kol am ve'edo. And what do you think he did? He did it. And Rabban Gamliel said to him when he walked in, Sholem lecho meiri v'talmidi. I greet you, my teacher, because you taught me a great lesson of humility, and talmidi, because you listened to me. Why am I telling you this? That's the first mitzvah in the Torah, to listen to Sanhedrin, to listen to the law. Do you sometimes disagree? Maybe. You still have to do what you have to do. Do you sometimes have a different opinion? Maybe. You can have an opinion. Are you allowed to act on your opinion? No. My mother, Aleh Shalom, used to tell us, that when my brother, Reb Shmuel Butman, was a little boy, maybe 3 years old, he would say, Oy, si schwer zu sein Eid. It's hard to be a Yid. Yes, yes, it is. Do we have to do it correctly? Yeah. Is it always comfortable? No. Do we have a choice? Yeah, of course we have a choice, but then come the consequences. So, our first mitzvah is, you have to listen to Rabbanim. You have to listen to Sanhedrin, and you can't make feileshtik. I could go on forever just on this. That's what we have to do. It's hard, but c'est la vie. That's the way it is. And that, I hope, our realization of that will bring Mashiach. Seid gesund. L'chaim, virchas, Mashiach, immediately. Now, thank you for coming. I really appreciate every single person out there. Thank you.